We are beyond the time where defining the ego is a helpful tool. Instead, we are at a time of integration. Bring back yourself to yourself. The way to do so is to remind yourself that the energy that you call the ego is just another fractal of yourself. Fractal in the sense that you have created an artificial separation, an idea that you are not the you that you call the ego. Instead of trying to figure out whether a thought is yours or your ego's, or whether a thought came from you or the universe around you, whether you're empathically picking up on the feelings of another or it's a feeling you yourself are having, is not the point. You no longer need to fool yourself with defining a source for the thought or for the feeling. Instead, just simply notice where it's at, what is happening in the moment that it's happening, so you can release it. Describing what happened in the past as a means to justify the current reality only puts you more into this reality, the reality that you likely are not seeking, but you're looking for a means to justify it. Similarly so, any emotional state that you feel is truly an artifact of the past, because by the time it comes to your physical awareness, it has already been an energy manifest into physical form. So all emotions are just a memory, an artifact of the past. Even what you feel in the current state right now does not describe your now. It describes how you felt moments ago, and moments ago, and moments ago. And instead of latching onto those emotions and letting them tell you who you are and how you feel, allow yourself to simply experience them, knowing that they are not you, but that you do not need to figure out whose they are. For beyond this physical state, and beyond the point of consciousness that is you, is all. Everything is much more enmeshed than the humans realize. Everything is much more enmeshed than your capacity to understand. For when you're plugged into your human avatar, you're unable to distinguish the entanglement, meaning you're unable to truly understand what we mean when people say, "You are everything." For that phrase, from a human lens, changes the very meaning of the phrase, and there is no way for you to understand from your current place. But if we were in your shoes and we were wanting to understand, we would simply say, the projectional capacity of the planet around you shows you not your truth, but the energetic state that you are accessing. And instead of trying to solve the world's problems, simply decide your energetic state, how you choose to show up in the world. That will dictate your emotions. And if you want to know if you're on the right path, simply notice how you feel. That'll show you where you were moments ago. Or yes, they are a signal of the past. But everything can always be changed, especially in this time and space, especially at this point in the human capacity. So instead of trying to judge, allow yourself to simply reflect to yourself what you're noticing by how you feel, how you think, and how you react. Know you're always doing the best that you can in any moment from which you're approaching life. And in that moment of you approaching you is your opportunity to decide, who am I going to be now? Do not expect yourself to be saintly. Do not expect yourself to evolve beyond the biological needs of being in, as in plugged into, a human body. The human body needs food and sleep and air to breathe. You cannot compromise on that. There is going to be a time and space where the point of cognition that you are, from a consciousness standpoint, not necessarily a mental, logistical capacity, no longer needs the human body. And so the very human body itself, which is a manifestation, will change its form, will change into something else. And that's where something like a breatharian, someone who can live on the air like a plant using photosynthesis will exist. But many and most human bodies are not at that place right now. And so stop claiming an ego and start allowing yourself to fully embrace the fragments that you've been creating. Take yourself back to yourself. Don't make an ego. Don't make a persona that you can pit yourself against. Don't make an inner judger and an anxious, wounded one. Don't make an internal family dynamic within your own head that you then have to heal. For you're just creating more and more layers of fabrication for yourself to need to sift through. And if that's where you're at, this is not necessarily a problem, but it is not something that is required in this time and space. Let yourself move through with movement. Emotion can be released with movement, and movement can be done vibrationally through frequency healing. It also can be done through actual movement, rhythmic, dancing as your body calls you to dance, singing as your body calls you to sing, moving, punching the air, climbing a tree, whatever it is, grounding into the earth, talking it out, not to solve, but simply to release. Not trying to judge and make sure it never happens again, but simply to allow yourself to transmute what's been there. We no longer need to dig into our past. And so Lisa is going through therapy right now to help her process some things of the past. And she's hearing this message and thinking, does that mean she should stop going to therapy? And we say, no, just approach it from a new perspective. Approach it in the now. Instead of trying to look for a reason that things went wrong, simply notice the thoughts that are emerging and work with the thought in that moment now. Don't decide it's constructed on an entire belief system, though we will admit that that is the way the human brain works. We're in a place of transition, and so that will also be transitioning. And so it can be that right now, as you're sitting in therapy or talking with a loved one that is a safe space, you don't do it to try to root into the past and figure out why you're limited. You bring up those things because you feel ready to let them go. Not to understand who you are now, but to release who you once were. Not to define how you need to heal or be different because of what happened, but to decide to, in the now, be the mother to yourself, the father to yourself, the healer to yourself, by showing yourself that those thoughts are not you. Because anything that you can see is a separation. Anything that you can touch is a separation. It is you witnessing the you. And as soon as you witness it, even without your conscious awareness of the witness, you show yourself it is not you. And when you witness it, not to claim it, but to release it and relieve it of the pressure of having to hold on to a vibrational quality of lowness, you allow it to expand back into the light. This is you healing yourself. And so that is what we have for you today, is this simple reminder that we don't need to claim an ego anymore. We don't need to create an emotional fabrication to qualify our lives for why they are the way they are. We simply notice where we're at for the sake of letting ourselves let go, explore, and move into the energetic state that we want to be in. We often stop ourselves from moving into the energetic state we want to be in because of the resistance that holding on to things that we think we're supposed to hold on to because we call it our past has. But there truly is no past. We are like a loading screen in an old-time video game that reloads every instant. And every instant, when it reloads, it moves the pixels just a little bit. So it looks like something on the screen is actually moved, when the reality is the entire screen reloaded. You reload in every single moment. That means the past that you claim is simply a reloaded, fabricated, graphical nature of the past. Which means there's a version of you out there that did not have that past, or that saw that same past differently. And you can claim that version now, but you don't have to try. You can simply allow yourself to be the you in the moment that you are, in the love, the closeness to yourself, and we'll be speaking more on that soon. To allow yourself to engage in the full capacity of your energy. Thank you.